If you ever watch TV during Thanksgiving, you might have seen this event on one of your channels. The Macy's Parade is one of the most iconic events during the holiday season. Starting over 100 years ago, this parade solidified Macy's as not only a stamp of American culture, but arguably the best department store to ever do it. So how did a company that dominated the department store industry end up having to close the majority of their stores? Well, here's how. So I just wiped the snow off my car. Damn, I need to invest in a shovel. So I wanted to brush up on Macy's because recent news came out saying that they're going to close 14 stores. To their defense, it's part of a strategy to turn things around in the business. Macy's has a really extensive business, so I try to keep it brief in under 10 minutes while I try to find parking. I think this lady across from me is coming out. I guess we found parking. No, this guy's about to take my parking. No. It's over, no, someone came. Someone beat me to it. I gotta find somewhere else. It's like everyone wanted to find parking right now. Oh, yep, I think I found parking. Is this guy? Yep, I found parking. So I'm gonna just wait for this guy to come out. To understand the origins of Macy's, we have to go back to the 19th century. Founded by Roland H. Macy, it started out as a dry goods store in New York. And in those days, what they mainly focused on was a modern way to shop. At a time when shoppers would wrestle with the price of a product, Macy's cut that out and made everything a fixed price. Being cash only combined with money-back guarantees wasn't the norm at the time, and it helped build trust with shoppers. They even hopped on advertising by showing the exact price in newspapers so people could compare items without even going in the store. It's probably where omni-channel came from. Reinvested profit from the store's success allowed them to purchase properties around the original 14th Street territory. See, they weren't just trying to be a typical department store. Trying to emulate Paris's Bon Marché, they eventually surpassed them. They kept buying up buildings, which eventually led to them relocating to Herald Square, on a block that was 20 minutes away from the original location. Much of this move was due to the minds of the Strauss brothers, who became owners much after buying out the Macy's family. Capturing the booming uptown traffic of New York, the early 20th century is where they really took over. With full control, the Strausses ran the store like a machine. They were often in conflict with suppliers because they would refuse their fake suggested prices. Part of their dominance was due to not conforming to being middlemen. When European brands wanted to dictate their own rules, Macy's went straight to their factories to cut their own deals. When they felt like the prices wasn't low enough, they made their own private label brands, keeping control of quality and price. Brands didn't like what they were doing, but shoppers, they loved the honesty. See, what they figured out early on was that their value was keeping their word. Transparency was everything in those days. In an era where companies would mark up prices to maximize margins, Macy's was a true what you see is what you get brand. But them truly winning America over came in 1924 when they launched the Thanksgiving Day Parade to kick off Christmas shopping. It became an instant tradition. Every year onward, the parade kept evolving and drew bigger audiences. At a time when the Great Depression made people lose hope, the parade kept the brand hopeful and fun. By the 40s, it became a cultural phenomenon and a Thanksgiving ritual. Just last year, it drew in a record-breaking of 34 million people that watched it. And even during wartime, they still found a way to pivot when there was a shortage on material. You can say that adding their parade definitely gave them an edge from their competition. As I mentioned on this channel before, post-war saw the rise of low-discount stores. It was these same brands that pulled a portion of the working-class market from Macy's. As they moved into malls and aimed to capitalize on the suburban boom, locking down regional dominance without overextending kept them relevant. Macy's continued to keep brand loyalty by adding things such as TV ads and credit plans amongst their annual parade. Despite the decline of urban stores during the 70s, in-house labels and their credit cards still made them robust. And then things got really tricky in the 80s. What was supposed to be an all-out effort into expanding stores into different regional markets became a block for them. Teens no longer cared for malls, which caused foot traffic to slow down. Competition from specialty chains started to increase, undercutting sales for Macy's. It seemed like taking the company private for the expansion was a setup for the storm that was about to come. By '91, Macy's was in the red by over $5 million. Closing a total of 70 stores nationwide, they filed for Chapter 11 the following year, posting a net loss of $1.2 billion. People pointed at the management for Macy's decline in those years. With the CEO out, they appointed a new one, and he became the primary driver for Macy's restructuring. He stabilized the company by being able to get a loan from the bank to pay vendors, staff, and stop the closures of stores. restoring confidence in suppliers as well as being disciplined in costs. By 96, Macy's became a viable asset again, with $7 billion in sales and sharp rebranding. The late 90s to early 2000s saw Macy's hop onto e-commerce, create a loyalty program, and acquire more department store chains, building up the company to having over 800 stores nationwide. Although they were 10th in e-commerce during this time, they still had cracks. Relying on malls made rivals like Target and Walmart to eat into their market share. The '08 crisis made sales drop from $27 billion to $23 billion. By then, their over-reliance on malls was exposed as customers cut out discretionary spending. Amazon became king by mid-2010s and taking 30 to 40% of e-sales. Younger demographics shifted toward the newer fast fashion brands, which would have 2 to 4 week cycles worth of closing as opposed to Macy's promotional one. Same year sales led to them closing over 100 stores by 2019. And I don't really need to mention how well the pandemic went. Their sales reached a low of $19 billion, the first in years since the 90s. Closing over 100 stores and laying off 11,000 people, margins definitely suffered. Following years, revenue did increase slightly with their omni-channel, but assuming other companies had that on lock, they weren't dominating in that territory either. Not wanting the world's most famous store getting bought out, the CEO launched the 2024 plan. They call it the Bold New Chapter. Pumping $1 billion into 350 world-class stores in their online space, the plan is to close 100 plus stores underperforming by the end of 2026. So the concept seems to be doing okay. Earnings per share increase as well as their saving costs from store closure. Now the real question is, are they dead? Are they dead or is there still time to save them? Well, with Saks recently announcing bankruptcy, this could be another gear change for Macy's. I really think it all depends on how convenient they could be for the shopper on the omni-channel side, as well as turning their stores that they do have left into places that could be well put together experiences for the shoppers. Again, we'll see. Well, that's the video for today. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on what's going on with Macy's. All right, later.